Okay, so this one says, a horse named Bullet runs down the center of the field at a constant speed of 18 yards per second, and a cameraman standing at the 50-yard line is going to be changing the angle of his camera so that Bullet is in the frame. Okay, so here's this. And so I want to look at this angle here, theta. So let's see. At what rate must the cameraman rotate? Okay, so we know that, so the things that are changing are this distance here, we don't know. Maybe I won't call it D, maybe I'll call it, you can call it like X and Y. So that distance is changing. This distance here from the cameraman to the center of the field, let's see, I need to know that distance. So it says here that the goal line is 52 yards long, so I have to look at that, which means that halfway would be 26 yards. Okay, so that is my picture there where I have the 26 labeled, and I can actually go ahead and put that number in there, the 26, because at that moment, that distance is not going to change from the cameraman to the center of the football field will be the same no matter where Bullet is. So that's not a changing quantity. But the Y, that distance, and the angle are both changing quantities. Okay, so now I have that, and so now I can, I'm given that dy dt is equal to the change in, Bullet's distance is given to be 18 yards per second, and I'm asked to find d theta dt. Okay, so what I need to start with is a relationship between y and theta. And so if I look at my picture, I can say that tangent of theta is equal to opposite over adjacent, so y over 26. And so now I can take the derivative of that implicitly with respect to t, and I'll get secant squared theta times d theta dt is equal to 1/26 dy dt. And so then I'm asked to do this exactly 4 seconds after Bullet passed the goal line. So if this is the goal line, after 4 seconds, I can do 18 yards per second times 4, and I get 72. And if we're looking for how far he is past the 50-yard line, I'll have to subtract 50 from that, and I get that y equals 22. So let me draw the angle, the thing here. So this is 26, and this is 22. So this is 4 seconds after Bullet crosses the goal line. That is the situation that we're in. And so I can use Pythagorean theorem to find that third side. So if I do the square root of 22 squared plus 26 squared, I can get that that is 34.05, 8, something like that. And then I know that secant of theta is going to be, secant is the flip of cosine. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So this will be hypotenuse over adjacent. So that'll be 34.058 over 26. And so if I square that, then I'll get that thing squared. So secant squared theta is going to be 34.058 over 26, and then that's squared, d theta dt equals 1 over 26, and then dy dt we know was 18. And so I can take that and put that into my calculator and solve that d theta dt is equal to, so I'll do 18 over 26, and all of that is divided by 34.058 divided by 26, and then all of that squared. And so I get 0.43. And that will be in, well, theta is measured in radians per second. Okay. So for the next, I'm computing derivatives. So I know that the derivative, this one has secant, and I know that the derivative of secant x is secant x tangent x. So I need to use that derivative rule here combined with the chain rule. So f prime of t will be secant of the inside part, tangent of the inside part. So that inside part has to go in both of those places. So square root of 2t and then square root of 2t times, now I want to do the derivative of the inside function. Well, square root of 2t is equal to 2t to the 1/2. So I can use chain rule again, and I can say that's 1/2 of 2t to the negative 1/2, and then times the derivative of the inside is just 2. So I can leave it like that. So that one was like a double chain rule. Next it says y equals 5 to the arc sine of x. So we need to know a couple of derivative rules for this one. One is that the derivative of a to the x is equal to a to the x times the natural log of a, and that's for, in this case, the base is 5, so a will be equal to 5. We also need to know the derivative of sine inverse of x, and that is 1 over the square root of 1 minus x squared. Okay, so those are the two derivative rules that are going to be applied here and combined with also the chain rule. So I'm going to say dy dx is going to be equal to 5 to the, I'm going to leave the inside part alone, arc sine x, natural log 5. So that's the derivative of the outside function times the derivative of the inside function, the derivative of the arc sine. It's going to be 1 over square root of 1 minus x squared. And that's the end of that. For the next one, I'm given x times the natural log x, and I want to find the second derivative. So let's start by finding the first derivative. I'll have to use the product rule here. So g prime of t will be, well, the derivative of x is just 1, leave the natural log alone, plus I'll leave the x alone and multiply by the derivative of natural log, which is 1 over x. So that simplifies down to natural log x plus 1. And if I want to find g double prime, I'll take the derivative again, and I'll get 1 over x. Next it says I want to find dy dx for that curve. So I'll notice, first of all, that I have an implicitly defined curve here. So when I have that x times e to the y, that's going to be a product rule. So I'm going to have to apply product rule there. So it's going to be 1 times e to the y plus x times e to the y dy dx. So when I take the derivative of e to the y, I'm going to have to apply chain rule. So it's e to the y and then times the derivative of the inside part, which is the dy dx. Equals, here I have tangent of y. Again, I need to use chain rule. So the derivative of tangent is secant squared. Leave the inside alone. Multiply by the derivative of the inside. And now I just need to solve that for dy dx. So I can subtract some things around, and I'll get x e to the y dy dx minus secant squared y dy dx equals negative e to the y. And then I can factor out the dy dx and divide over the leftovers. So x e to the y minus secant squared y dy dx equals negative e to the y. And then I can get dy dx is equal to negative e to the y divided by x e to the y minus secant squared y. And if you kind of move things around in a different way, you may have a positive e to the y on top, and then the bottom would have like opposite signs. That's also correct. Okay, so the next one, it says, suppose gravel is being poured into a conical pile at a rate of 5 meters per second. So this rate of 5 meters cubed per second is dv dt. And suppose the radius is always 1/2 the height. So r equals 1/2 h, or I could write 2r equals h, either way. And then it says, how fast is the height of the pile increasing when the height is 10 meters? What we want to do is we want to get this volume in terms of height only. So I'm asked for dH dt. That's the one I'm trying to find. So I need to find a relationship between v and h. And once I get that, I can take the derivative of that implicitly with respect to t. Well, I'm given a volume formula that v equals 1/3 pi r squared h, and I also know that r is equal to 1/2 h, so I can plug that in here. So I get v equals 1/3 pi, and then 1/2 h squared h. And so I can simplify that a little bit. So I get 1/3 pi, 1/2 squared is 1/4, and then I'll have h squared times h, which is h cubed. Let's move constants around a little bit more. So I'll get 1/12 pi h cubed. Now I'm going to take the derivative of that implicitly with respect to t. So I get dv dt is equal to 1/12 pi times 3h squared times dh dt. All right, and so now what I want to do is I want to plug in the values that I know. So I know dv dt is 5. And I want to find the way the height is increasing when the height is 10 meters. So I can take that and I can use my calculator to solve for dH dt. So dH dt is equal to 5 divided by all of that stuff there. It's going to be pretty small. Let's see. So I get 0.0636. Put my decimal place in the wrong place. 0.06366. And then the units for that, well, the height is in meters, and my dv dt was in meters cubed per second, so the time unit is in seconds. So that's meters per second. Okay, this next one says a lighthouse is located on a small island 3 kilometers away from the nearest point P on a shoreline. Let X represent the distance between P and the light beam's intersection with the shoreline. So there's where the light beam intersects. Also let theta represent the measure of the angle created. Which formula defines the relationship between the rate of change of the angle's measure and the rate of change at which the beam of light is moving? So I want to find a relationship between d theta dt and dx dt. So to do that, I'm going to start by finding a relationship between theta and x. So I'm going to look to my triangle, and I can see that tangent of theta is equal to x over 3. And so if I take the derivative of that implicitly with respect to t, I get secant squared theta times d theta dt. is equal to 1/3 times dx dt. And so I can look and see which of these that is. It looks like that corresponds well to B. The next one says compute the following derivatives. So I can see here that this is a quotient rule. So I can write f prime of x. So anytime I have a quotient rule, it's going to have this format where it's like the bottom squared, and it's like low d high minus high d low. So I just go ahead and put my parentheses there, and then I can fill in all the gaps. So I know on the bottom it's just going to be the denominator squared, so x to the 7th squared. And then in here I'll just put low, which is the bottom function, x to the 7th, d high, the derivative of 7 to the x. Well, that's going to be 7 to the x times the natural log of 7 minus high d low, so 7 to the x times the derivative of the bottom, which will be 7x to the 6th. And then now that I filled in all my blanks, I can leave it just like that. For the next one, I'm asked to find, I'm given that y equals the natural log of secant of x, and I'm asked to find the second derivative. So I could say y prime is going to be, by the chain rule, 1 over the inside function, which is secant x, times the derivative of secant x, which is secant x tangent x. So I can simplify that, and I end up just getting tangent x. And then y double prime will be the derivative of the derivative, so the derivative of tangent is secant squared.